Ma'am, that's not how you access classified intelligence systems. The secure CIA device in Sarah Kane's laptop bag buzzed with the distinct tone that could reshape national security protocols in minutes. I'll adjust the access parameters immediately, Agent. Her voice carried the practiced deference of someone who'd spent 2 weeks troubleshooting systems for intelligence officers who had no idea she commanded the entire American intelligence apparatus. What Agent Marcus Rodriguez didn't know was that the brunette IT contractor optimizing his workstation outranked him by the highest level of government authority and was about to receive a call that would change everything. Click. Rodriguez tapped his security badge against the metal desk holder, the sound echoing through CIA Langley's main operations center. And next time, make sure civilian contractors understand that intelligence work requires security clearance, not guesswork. Sarah's fitted navy blazer and professional slacks had drawn appreciative glances all week. At 29, she maintained the sharp intelligence that came from years of cyber warfare training, though none of the agents watching her work suspected she'd earned her expertise commanding intelligence operations across 5 different global theaters. The CIA director's secure device buzzed again. National Security Emergency Escalation. Agent, I understand the importance of security protocols, Sarah said quietly, her brunette hair catching the operations center's LED lighting as she leaned over the computer terminal. Intelligence accuracy can mean the difference between national security and catastrophic failure. That's when the emergency device rang with the tone that would expose everything. Stories like this prove that heroes protect our nation from every position in government. Tell us where you're watching from. What city, state, or country? Senior analyst Jennifer Hawk Martinez had been watching the new IT contractor for 4 days now, and something felt inconsistent. It wasn't obvious at first. Sarah Kane moved through CIA Langley's main operations center with practiced efficiency, her fitted blazer flattering her athletic figure while maintaining professional boundaries. Brunette hair pulled back during procedures, nothing suggesting she was anything more than what she appeared. But Martinez had 18 years of intelligence analysis experience, and she'd learned to recognize specialized training. The way Sarah handled classified systems wasn't random. She used protocols most civilian contractors never learned. When she performed cyber diagnostics, she employed procedures that suggested advanced intelligence training. When she moved through the crowded operations center, she navigated with the spatial awareness of someone who understood intelligence flow and crisis management. Most telling was how she assessed security systems. Sarah Kane saw everything. Not obviously, she never overstepped her apparent role as IT support. But Martinez noticed her unconsciously evaluating threat assessments with analytical precision. Yesterday, when Agent Rodriguez discussed operational parameters, Sarah had worked nearby much longer than necessary, her eyes tracking intelligence protocols with unmistakable comprehension. "Martinez, you're staring again," Agent Thompson mentioned during yesterday's shift. "Just observing contractor efficiency," Martinez replied. But it was more than that. This morning's incident confirmed her suspicions. Most civilian contractors would have apologized profusely when corrected by a field agent. Sarah Kane had done neither submission nor defensiveness. She'd listened carefully, processed the intelligence authority structure, and responded with calm professionalism that suggested experience managing difficult personalities in high-pressure security situations. Her body language hadn't shown intimidation. If anything, she'd looked patient, like someone waiting for a junior analyst to finish orientation. The secure device buzzed again, its tone cutting through the operations center's constant background noise like a priority alert. "What exactly is that noise?" Agent Rodriguez demanded, his voice carrying across the intelligence workstation. Sarah's hand moved instinctively toward the device, then stopped. "I apologize, Agent. Intelligence emergency contact. Intelligence emergencies are handled through proper CIA channels." Rodriguez gestured toward the official communication system. "Young lady, this is exactly the problem with civilian contractors in national security facilities. No understanding of proper intelligence protocols." But what Rodriguez didn't know was that Sarah Kane had been conducting her own security investigation. As the CIA director commanding all American intelligence operations, she had access to security reports and personnel evaluations for every intelligence facility under her jurisdiction. CIA Langley showed concerning patterns. Nothing dramatic, but subtle indicators suggesting inadequate respect for support staff and leadership issues affecting operational security. Anonymous feedback mentioned feeling dismissed by certain agents. Mission readiness scores declined consistently. Most troubling were bias reports about how different intelligence personnel and contractors were treated. So Director Sarah Kane decided to investigate personally. But what they didn't know about this skilled 29-year-old contractor would change everything at CIA Langley. "Agent," Martinez interjected carefully, "maybe we should keep intelligence discussions private. Civilian contractors sometimes overhear sensitive—" "Martinez, she's an IT contractor. She fixes computers and updates software. That's it." Rodriguez gestured dismissively towards Sarah, who continued preparing system diagnostics with mechanical precision. These civilian contractors sometimes forget their place in intelligence hierarchy. Important to maintain proper boundaries. The device buzzed a third time. Crisis escalation. Sarah's athletic frame tensed slightly as she recognized the escalation pattern. Somewhere in the world, a security emergency was developing that required her immediate strategic assessment. The same assessment that had coordinated responses to terrorist threats, cyber attacks, and international intelligence crises. "The problem with hiring attractive women for IT positions," Rodriguez continued, his voice deliberately loud enough for Sarah to hear, "is that they think their appearance entitles them to intelligence opinions. But this is national security. Beauty doesn't earn clearance, intelligence competence does." Agent Lisa Phoenix Chen shifted uncomfortably. "Agent, perhaps we should lower our voices." "Should what? Pretend everyone's security opinion is equally valuable?" Rodriguez warmed to his theme. "That's exactly the thinking that compromises national security. You need to understand that intelligence hierarchy exists for a reason. Training matters. Education matters. Fixing computers doesn't mean understanding intelligence science." Sarah moved closer to their conversation, her movements carrying subtle authority that seemed at odds with the humble contractor role Rodriguez described. Senior Agent Wolf Williams watched carefully. 25 years in intelligence had taught him to read people, and something about Sarah's calm confidence suggested institutional knowledge beyond civilian contracting. "Sir," Williams said quietly to Rodriguez, "maybe we should keep it down. Some conversations." "Williams, she's a contractor. She maintains systems and runs diagnostics. That's it." Rodriguez leaned back with satisfaction. These civilian contractors sometimes forget their place. Important to maintain boundaries. But Williams wasn't convinced. Intelligence training created instincts hard to hide. The way Sarah moved, anticipated needs, positioned herself to observe without seeming to, it suggested security knowledge beyond IT support. "Agent Rodriguez," Analyst Chen joined their group, "noticed you discussing protocols loudly. Something we should address?" Rodriguez considered carefully. "Professional development, Chen. Sometimes civilian contractors need clear guidance about intelligence hierarchy and appropriate roles." "Maybe." Chen watched Sarah efficiently manage 3 workstations while staying aware of every conversation. But people with that situational awareness usually learned it somewhere specific. What Chen didn't know was that Sarah Kane had been tracking concerning leadership patterns throughout her investigation. Rodriguez represented exactly the type of bias that affected contractor morale and operational security. His dismissive attitude toward support personnel created the environment where critical intelligence insights were ignored. For 2 weeks, she'd observed how authority played out at operational level, how respect was earned or demanded, how chain of command functioned when no directors watched from above. Now, she was experiencing it firsthand. What came next would prove that assumptions about civilians and national security can be the most dangerous intelligence failure. That's when the CIA director's secure device rang for the 4th time. The sound cut through the operations center like a code-red alert. Not a cheerful personal chime, but the distinct priority tone of the nation's highest intelligence command system. Every intelligence professional in the operations area turned toward the sound. Sarah froze mid-diagnostic, looking at the device that connected her to the CIA's Crisis Management Center. "Ma'am," Rodriguez called with full agent authority, "I told you personal calls wait until break time. Turn that off immediately." Sarah looked at the device ringing with CIA Director priority rhythm. 8 years of intelligence command experience warred with her undercover investigation. "Agent, with respect, this isn't personal." Sarah's voice carried quiet confidence that made Martinez pay closer attention. Rodriguez's face reddened. "I don't care what kind of intelligence call it is. You're a civilian contractor in a national security facility. When an agent gives direction, you follow, period." The operations center went quiet. Intelligence personnel at nearby stations stopped their procedures, sensing confrontation. Sarah's steady hands trembled slightly as she set down the diagnostic tablet. Inside her laptop bag, the CIA director's device held 8 years of command authority over intelligence operations spanning global national security. "Agent Rodriguez," Martinez tried. "Maybe she should—" "Martinez, stay out of this!" Rodriguez's voice carried across the quiet center. "This is exactly what I meant." Civilian contractors who don't understand intelligence hierarchy. Sarah looked around, taking in dozens of intelligence professionals witnessing this public confrontation. Some looked uncomfortable. Others enjoyed the drama. A few seemed to be taking mental notes about leadership behavior. The device rang again. 5th cycle indicating intelligence crisis escalation. "Ma'am," Rodriguez continued with full agent authority, "you have 10 seconds to silence that device and return to duties, or I'll have you escorted out and your security clearance permanently revoked." "Agent," Chen spoke quietly, "maybe we should—" "Chen, I'm handling this. Everyone's about to see how you maintain discipline and respect in intelligence environments." Rodriguez folded his arms. "Ma'am, I'm waiting." Sarah looked at the device. The secure system that had coordinated responses to national security emergencies, advised the president on intelligence strategy, and participated in decisions affecting global operations. For 2 weeks, she'd observed how intelligence leadership functioned at operational level, how authority was exercised, respect earned or demanded, how security hierarchy affected mission readiness when senior command thought no one was monitoring from above. Now she was experiencing it firsthand. "Agent Rodriguez," she said quietly, "you're absolutely right about intelligence hierarchy and the importance of following legitimate security protocols from qualified agents." Rodriguez nodded with satisfaction. "Exactly. Now please turn off—" "But you might want to know," Sarah continued, answering the device, "who you're giving intelligence orders to." "Director Kane, CIA." That's when Agent Rodriguez noticed something about the contractor that made his intelligence training scream red alert. The silence was total and immediate. Even computer processing sounds seemed to pause as the words registered throughout the operations center. "Director Kane, we have a developing cyber attack on Pentagon systems. Initial reports indicate coordinated infiltration requiring your immediate intelligence assessment." Sarah's entire presence transformed. The brunette IT contractor disappeared, replaced by the commanding intelligence authority of someone accustomed to decisions affecting national security. "What's the timeline for my evaluation?" 12 minutes, ma'am. Pentagon commanders are implementing cyber defense protocols, and we need your authorization before expanding counterintelligence procedures." "Understood. Connect me to NSA liaison immediately. I need all cyber analysis reports and initial threat assessment data from the compromised systems." While Sarah received the classified intelligence briefing, she observed the transformation around her. Agent Rodriguez had gone completely still, his face draining of color and dawning intelligence horror. Senior analyst Martinez looked fascinated rather than shocked, as if analytical pieces were clicking into place. Other intelligence personnel appeared to be experiencing various stages of professional disbelief, but Sarah's primary focus was on the crisis thousands of miles away. Director Kane, we're tracking potential infiltration of classified Pentagon networks. Attack patterns suggest coordinated foreign intelligence operation requiring immediate response assessment. Sarah began pacing behind the workstation, her contractor clothes now completely at odds with the authority in her voice and the complexity of the intelligence crisis she was managing. Current cyber defense status? Level 2 containment, ma'am. Cybersecurity teams responding, but no definitive source identification. NSA team coordinating. Estimated containment, 6 hours. Recommendation: immediate escalation to Level 3 cyber defense. All intelligence agencies to maximum alert status. No system access until threat neutralized. And get me secure connection to Pentagon Cybersecurity Commander. Level 3 cyber defense, yes, ma'am. Secretary of Defense requesting your assessment on counterattack protocols. Tell the Secretary that premature aggressive action could escalate cyber reconnaissance into digital warfare. We contain first, analyze second, counterattack only if containment fails. Have all intelligence assets on standby but maintain defensive posture. Agent Rodriguez finally found his voice, barely a whisper. Director? Sarah held up one finger, indicating she needed to complete the intelligence crisis call. Around the operations center, intelligence personnel at other stations began realizing they were witnessing something extraordinary. Phones were quietly retrieved. Conversations stopped entirely. Director Kane, we're also receiving reports of similar attacks on State Department systems. Possible coordinated assault on government infrastructure? Almost certainly coordinated. This is testing our response patterns and intelligence capabilities. Recommend immediate government-wide cyber defense notification and Protocol Alpha implementation for all federal communications. Protocol Alpha implementation, yes, ma'am. Anything else? Hourly updates on both Pentagon and state situations. If either attack spreads or systems worsen, I need immediate notification. And get me secure line to National Security Advisor. We may need coordinated federal response. Understood, Director. Hourly updates and secure connection to National Security Advisor. Because the truth about Sarah Kane was even more classified than any operation they'd ever seen, Sarah ended the call and looked around the completely silent operations center. Every face was turned toward her, expressions ranging from intelligence shock to professional awe to terrified recognition. She turned to Agent Rodriguez, still staring with the expression of someone watching their intelligence career disintegrate in real time. Agent Rodriguez, I believe you had concerns about civilian contractors understanding intelligence protocols? What followed was the most uncomfortable 40 minutes in Agent Rodriguez's 9-year intelligence career. Director Sarah Kane, still wearing her fitted contractor blazer, conducted an impromptu intelligence leadership evaluation that would become legendary throughout the CIA's agent development program. Intelligence professionals, she began, addressing the 8 personnel who remained at their stations while other staff quietly evacuated to give them privacy. What happened today wasn't an intelligence accident. It was the predictable result of leadership attitudes I've been documenting at this facility. Senior Analyst Martinez leaned forward, her intelligence training engaging. Director, what exactly have you observed? Systematic patterns of discrimination based on appearance, gender, and perceived security status rather than actual competence. Troubling tendency to dismiss input from anyone considered lower in intelligence hierarchy. Sarah pulled out a small notebook. I've documented 26 incidents of agents making operational decisions based on assumptions about contractors, gender, or civilian status, rather than demonstrated intelligence capability. Agent Rodriguez felt his intelligence career prospects evaporating. Ma'am, I never intended any security disrespect. Agent, intelligence intentions matter less than operational security impact. Agent leadership effectiveness is measured by how behavior influences mission readiness, team cooperation, and intelligence outcomes. Sarah flipped through her notes. Your interaction with me today was consistent with patterns I've observed in your intelligence leadership style throughout these 2 weeks. She turned to Martinez. Senior Analyst Martinez, you consistently questioned intelligence assumptions and advocated for procedural verification. That's the critical thinking that creates effective intelligence leadership. Martinez felt simultaneously relieved and terrified. Being praised by the CIA director was career-enhancing. Being praised for questioning an agent's authority in front of that director was potentially career-ending. Agent Chen, you showed discomfort with today's conversation direction, but weren't willing to speak up when witnessing inappropriate treatment of someone you believed had no intelligence authority to defend themselves. That's a leadership failure with serious operational consequences. Sarah closed her notebook. Here's what happens next. Agent Rodriguez, you'll report to Deputy Director Harrison's office at 1500 hours today. Your comments about contractor staff, intelligence competence, and appropriate treatment indicate immediate need for agent leadership development and bias recognition training. Rodriguez nodded numbly, calculating damage to his intelligence advancement potential. Senior Analyst Martinez, you'll join me for discussion about advanced intelligence leadership opportunities. Your willingness to question conventional intelligence thinking indicates potential for strategic-level responsibility. Stories like this prove that heroes protect our nation from every position in government. Tell us where you're watching from. What city, state, or country? What happened next would restore every intelligence professional's faith in true leadership. All of you will participate in comprehensive facility intelligence climate assessment. This includes confidential input from all levels: civilian contractors, support personnel, analysts, and field agents. Sarah stood, her contractor clothes somehow failing to diminish the intelligence command presence radiating from her athletic frame. Intelligence professionals, modern national security requires leaders who recognize intelligence talent regardless of packaging. The ability to see beyond surface appearances and initial assumptions isn't political correctness, it's operational necessity. She looked directly at each intelligence professional. Today, you had the opportunity to demonstrate those intelligence qualities. Some succeeded, others failed dramatically. This morning's incident will become a case study in agent leadership programs throughout the CIA. Not because Agent Rodriguez failed to recognize the director, but because he failed to treat another intelligence professional with basic dignity and respect. Martinez raised her hand. Director, what changes do you recommend for Langley? CIA Langley becomes a pilot program for inclusive intelligence leadership development. We'll prove that operational security improves when every intelligence professional is valued for actual contributions rather than perceived status or appearance. The contractor program will be expanded and formalized. Intelligence expertise in specialized systems, security advocacy, and operational coordination will be systematically integrated. Most importantly, we'll train agents to recognize and develop intelligence talent wherever they find it. As she walked toward the operations center exit, still wearing her contractor blazer but now carrying herself with unmistakable CIA director authority, the remaining intelligence staff sat in stunned silence, each contemplating how a simple system diagnostic had fundamentally changed their understanding of intelligence leadership, assumption, and the dangerous cost of underestimating intelligence professionals based on appearance. 6 months later, the director in contractor clothes had become CIA legend. Agent Rodriguez received transfer to intelligence analysis at a regional office, effectively ending his field agent advancement possibilities. His evaluation included mandatory bias recognition training and ongoing supervision requirements. But the impact extended far beyond one agent's career. Senior Analyst Martinez was promoted to Deputy Chief of Analysis ahead of schedule and assigned to Director-level planning, where her demonstrated ability to question intelligence assumptions proved invaluable in preventing 3 potential security breaches. Agent Chen received additional intelligence leadership development focused on moral courage, the strength required to speak up when witnessing inappropriate treatment of intelligence colleagues. The Langley incident became the centerpiece of a new CIA-wide program called Intelligence Leadership Beyond Appearance. The program trained agents to recognize operational talent regardless of gender, age, or contractor status, proving that national security depended on seeing beyond surface intelligence assumptions. Director Sarah Kane was recognized as youngest CIA director in agency history 6 months later. Her leadership ceremony was held at Langley, with over 500 intelligence professionals in attendance. Intelligence leadership requires the humility to recognize that operational wisdom can come from unexpected sources, she said during her speech. It requires the courage to question your own intelligence biases, especially about the worth and capability of other security professionals. The contractor program at Langley expanded to include former intelligence executives, retired specialists, and experienced security professionals whose civilian expertise enhanced national security in ways traditional intelligence training sometimes couldn't address. But the most significant change was cultural. The incident sparked CIA-wide conversations about intelligence respect, assumption, and hidden potential in every security professional. Agents questioned their biases more carefully. Contractor staff felt more valued. Operations experienced improved security and greater intelligence advocacy. The goal wasn't to embarrass anyone or prove points about hidden intelligence identities, Director Kane explained to a national security leadership conference. The goal was creating intelligence leaders who see security professionals clearly, value contributions based on intelligence merit rather than appearance, and understand that our security strength comes from recognizing and developing intelligence talent wherever we find it. CIA Langley's main operations center installed a small bronze plaque near the contractor workstation. Intelligence excellence is best measured not by how you treat those with authority over you, but by how you treat those who appear to have no security power at all. Every day, intelligence professionals sharing operational space were reminded that everyone around them carried security stories, experiences, and intelligence capabilities that couldn't be judged by uniform, job title, or first security impression. Sometimes the person fixing your computer commanded entire intelligence systems. Sometimes the quiet observer had security insights that could save thousands of lives. Sometimes the most powerful intelligence leader in the room was the one everyone underestimated. Thank you to everyone who shared where they're watching from. Intelligence and security professionals from around the world represent. Your comments prove that respect for those who protect our freedom spans every corner of the globe. In the shadows and in the light, true leadership always finds a way to serve. Until next time, remember, never underestimate the quiet strength that guards our nation.